What's up with it, y'all? Polo Sports Talking ENT here again with another one. Make sure you hit the like, hit the sub, comment, do all of that. And also make sure you hit the notification so that you're able to get each and every one of my videos and streams. Look, I ain't even fitting to do no intro for this. Okay? Not finna do no intros. I'm sorry. I gotta dive right into this thing because I got a bone to pick. I have a bone to pick. Seriously. Listen, you trying to tell me You trying to tell me that a future, yes, I said it, future, future Hall of Famer in Amari Cooper is not more valuable and not the most valuable on that Cowboys team? You have lost your mind. I repeat, you have lost your mind. Okay? I'm not even going to get into the drop passes right now. Okay? Not even going to get into the drop passes because that right there, that already proves right there that Amari Cooper is way more valuable. Okay, in crucial situations, everybody messes up. I mean, running backs fumble in crucial situations. Tony Rumble fumbled in crucial situations. Wide receivers uh, don't make the actual reception in crucial situations. What's up, Ja'Cory Royal? I'll see you in the building. You said salute, much love, and Amari is great. Often quiet throughout the game because of double teams. This is why Gallup looks so great. Look here, Gallup. To me, Gallup is nice, but to me he's not on Amari's level. He's not on Amari's level. Listen, when Amari Cooper was in Oakland, that wasn't the primary reason why he left. It wasn't the primary reason why he left. The reason why Amari Cooper was gone was because they were not giving him an opportunity to flourish when he was a Raider. And plus the whole franchise was dysfunctional. They were a dysfunctional team. So how can you sit here and say that Amari Cooper is not the most valuable receiver, or C.D. Lamb and Gallup and all these boys are more valuable? And Ja'Cory Royal, I'm not disagreeing with you, okay? I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, okay? But what I am going to say is this, okay? You have to actually put things into its proper perspective when you're going to talk about a guy like Mari Cooper. Coming out of college, man, he was already projected. He was projected to be uh, one of the top level of receivers coming into the league. Okay, so my question is this: you get placed in a situation where you're not getting the opportunity to flourish on offense that much, but then you come to the Cowboys, right? And then you make significant impact. Are we missing something here? Are we missing something here? Are we missing something here? Please tell me, are we missing something here? What's up, Polo? You said let's go Cowboys. Yeah, hey, what's up, East Oakland? I see you in here, man. Listen, are we missing something here? I'm not a Cowboys fan. Don't get it twisted, but I do like Amari and I do like Dak. And I'm not fitting to sit up here and and let people just, okay, they take into account different situations. Even with Andy Dalton, who they had to finish off the season with, and then ended up getting hurt again. I think he ended up getting hurt too. Guess what? He still only had two drop passes. He still only had two drop passes in comparison to in comparison to. I'm not even gonna get into the other top level receivers because in 2019 I didn't look up 2020, but in 2019 it was Calvin Ridley that had the highest drop percentage in the league. Okay, now I know Calvin Ridley is getting a lot of targets. Calvin Ridley, uh, it was Calvin Ridley. Hold on one second. I know he. I'm just trying to make sure that I get that information right because I don't like to. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, y'all. All right. Okay. Look, it was Alvin. It was Alvin Kamara who had the most drop passes. Okay. Now my question is this: if he only had two in the crucial situation, now I know what people are talking about. Okay, because the Cowboys the Cowboys had they were number one in drop passes as a team. Okay, they had 31. They were just above the Steelers. The Steelers had 30. Detroit had 26. Okay, and then I'll mention the other one. Kansas City. Kansas City had 25. They made it to the Super Bowl. At ATL, they had 24. We had. I'm talking about Tampa Bay. We had 24 too. Okay, and then it was the Giants, 49ers, and then so on and so forth. But I was really just talking about the top people. But Dallas Cowboys, they led. Okay, so my question is this: CD Lamb, CD Lamb had 8 drop passes. Okay, I don't want to hear about. Okay, yeah, he was a rookie, and all this other stuff, and he needed to get acclimated to the league and everything like that. He had 8 drops. So how can you compare? How are you going to sit here and compare uh, Amari Cooper, who has pretty much been successful since he has came to the Cowboys? All right. Now, I get all of that stuff about him being jammed up by a physical CB and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? But look, that's not who he is. There's many receivers that just like to blow right past you or whatever that aren't physical, that weren't just they weren't a physical run receiver like that. You know what I'm saying? But if he could blow right past you, why does he need to do that? So if you're gonna use that type of logic, right? If you're gonna use that type of logic, in terms of, okay, yeah, well, he's not physical enough, and he's not, the only thing that he can do is blow right past him. If you get physical with him, then he kind of you take him out of his game and all that other stuff. If you're gonna use that, then okay, let's go ahead and make another comparison. You have Deion Sanders. They used to say all the time, Prime, he can't tackle, he can't hit, and all this other stuff, but he was still getting interceptions. He was still able to get interceptions and still run it all the way back. Okay, so that's just as great as you sitting there, you making a tackle, or you might make a tackle and force a fumble and cause a turnover or something like that. Well, he just did everything all in one instance, and he went back and he took it to the house sometimes. So you're telling me that a guy that can't burn a guy, such as a Randy Moss, such as a Isaac Bruce, or a Holt, or even a Marvin Harrison, or even a Reggie Wayne, a guy that can't blow right past the guy, uh, even T.O. on occasions, Chad Ochocinco back in the day, A.B., Julio Jones, even Calvin Ridley. So you trying to tell me Tyreek Hill, even though he got exposed, you trying to tell me that if he can't use his speed to blow past somebody, that I'm gonna sit there and waste my time with jamming people up and stuff like that and getting physical to prove a point? Slap yourself. Slap yourself. That's absolute. That man. That's insane. And see, that's the problem. That's the problem with everybody. They want to sit there and they want to talk about, oh, okay, well, you know, he didn't do this, and making all types of excuses for this guy. Man, listen, he's 1,000 yard getter every season. He's 1,000 yard. He's good for 1,000 yard every season. I mean, so what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? What the hell are we talking about here? You know, we gotta stop. We gotta stop acting like, okay, look, okay, y'all want to sit up here and make the comparison. He only had 3 seasons in which he vastly underperformed. Okay, and that was in the 2017, 2018. But you got to realize that in the 2018 season, it was kind of combined. Okay, he had all right with when he first came in with the Raiders in 2015, right? And by the way, he's still young and he still can make changes to his game. I don't want people seeing that he's set in his ways. Okay, when he first came into the league, got 1,000 yard. He was at 1,070. Had 6 touchdowns. Okay, average 14.9 yards per reception. In 2016, he had 1153 or 1,153. Okay, and he had five touchdowns. Average yardage was 13.9. Okay, now in 2017, that's when he made a he didn't perform that well. Nevertheless, he only had 680. You know what I'm saying? 14, and his longest was 87. But he still had seven. He had 7 touchdowns though. But So he didn't have that many yard. He didn't have that many yards, and then on top of that, his long was 14. I mean, his average was 14.2, and his long was 87. So you know what that tells me, he was reliable in terms of getting the ball in the end zone, but in terms of getting the yardage and everything like that, and the short yardage and stuff, he wasn't as valuable. Now I'm gonna combine. You have to combine the 2018 season, okay? Because that's when he had got a trade. He had went to Dallas or whatnot. When he was at the part of the season when he was with the Raiders, he had 280 yards, and then when he got to Dallas, he had 725. Okay, you combine that all together, he was good for 1,000 1,000 and 1,015 yards. Okay, now you combine the touchdowns, he had seven that whole year, and he had averaged roughly around like I would say about like 13 because he had 13.7 with the Dallas Cowboys, in which they relied upon him heavily, and then on top of that, he had 12.7. 2019, okay, 2019, he had 1,189 yards. He averaged an insane 15.1. Okay, reception average, yards each you know yardage reception or whatnot, and then he had 8 touchdowns, which was his highest in the time he had been playing. And then last year he still was good for 1,000 yards. He had 1,100, 1,000 because he had 92 receptions, which was his highest total so far. And then on top of that, he had 1,114. He averaged a little lower, 12.1, and he had 5 touchdowns. That was still productive. And he only had 2 drops, despite Dak being hurt. Despite him being hurt, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear none of this mess about Amari Cooper not being productive. Oh yeah, you can't rely on him and all this other stuff. Man, are you serious? Are you serious? The last 2 years, he has been good for well over 1,000. He's only had one season, one season in which he failed to make 1,000 yards. One season, and has always had more than 5 touchdowns. So last time I checked, your whole goal in football was to get it into the end zone, right? So actually, they're using him for that target so that we can get the ball in the end zone, and not only that too, he has no problem. He has no problem taking it there too. If he needs to blow right past you and take it himself, then he'll do that. If he wants to do the TO thing, he can do that. And if he wants to go ahead and just lead the herd and blow right past you with having a ball in his hand and rush to the end zone, he can do that. He can do that. I think people are sadly mistaken of how versatile a guy like Amari Cooper is. I would love to have Amari Cooper in Tampa Bay. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want Amari Cooper in Dallas, go ahead. We'll take him. Give it to him because that guy, man, I'm telling you, he's a winner. And then this is another thing too. This is another thing. Everybody likes to talk about, oh yeah, well, uh, Lamb takes pressure off of Amari Cooper, and uh, guys like Gallup take pressure off of him and stuff like that. Dog, Amari Cooper opens up the game for them. Hey, They're more worried about Amari Cooper than they are about those other guys. Listen, I'm not. Listen, I'm not here to talk down on CD Lamb, because CD Lamb by far, yeah, I mean he's nice. Don't get it twisted now. But who's gonna have the better season coming in? It's gonna be Amari Cooper. That Dak already has a good connection with Amari Cooper. You seen the yardage that he put up when he was with Amari Cooper. Everybody has that one player where they just have that good connection. It's second nature to them. In which your quarterback's supposed to be second nature with your receivers, your tight ends, and your running backs anyway. You know what I'm saying? They supposed to be second nature with their offensive player. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be on the same page. Amari Cooper immediately was already on the same page because he put 700 yards in the short time that he was with them. So we gotta stop. Okay, you so concerned about, okay, the drops, and this guy can't. He failed to do this and he failed to do that. Nah, yeah. Listen, Amari Cooper is gonna come in this year. He's gonna have a hell of a season. Okay, now to what degree I don't know, but I think he has a chip on his shoulder. I think he's gonna play with a chip on his shoulder. I think all of the Cowboys are gonna play with a chip on their shoulder. People act like Amari Cooper's not coming from a winning. He's not coming from a winning pedigree. Like it has a winning pedigree. I mean, he's a Crimson Tide. When he was rolling Tide, guess what? He was successful. That already told you that when he comes in, he's going to go ahead and produce. And Alabama is more running back, DBs, and receivers school. You know what I'm saying? That's an offensive. I mean, that's like an offensive school. It's not a quarterback. It's not a quarterback school. A lot of people think that a lot of these quarterbacks that come out from Alabama, they're gonna be successful in the league. You can't name me a guy that came from Alabama that has been successful or has been Hall of Fame worthy. You can't name them. You can't name them. I mean, they might have had a few good years or whatnot, but other than that, you can't name any guy that on a Peyton Manning level status or any of that. So you say, why do you say that? Well, he may do with what he had while he was in college. I already knew from the jump when Amari Cooper had came from college, this guy's gonna be it. I wanted him to succeed while he was with Oakland at that time. Oakland. Now it's with what you did with Las Vegas. With Las Vegas, we gotta stop. We gotta take our personal feelings. We gotta take our personal feelings out of, okay, well, I don't like this player because he's doing this, or I don't like this player because he's doing that. You gotta take your personal feelings out of that. You have to take your personal feelings out of that. That makes absolutely no sense that you think that Amari Cooper is not going to be the most reliable. He's going to be the most reliable. He's going to be the best one. and he's going to be the most consistent one. He's going to be the most consistent one. And health, you have to take health into account too, because health is going to be a big factor too. I'd be silly to think that things don't happen in the NFL, but health is going to be a big concern. But I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to go in and he's going to flourish. He's going to flourish just like he did last year with them being short of Dak, who was his bread and butter. Pause. And then also the year before that in 2019 in the 2019 season, because 2019 was a big year for him. That was a big year for him because he made his presence felt. Uh, people were wondering, what type of player that Amari Cooper was going to have. Man, he came in and this guy uh, that wasn't even with the team that long, and you already knew. You saw spurts in him in 2018. You already knew that this guy was going to make a immediate impact. And see, for as much as people, they get on Dak about not throwing the long ball consistently and all this other, man, they need to stop it. I'm I'm not always going to use Amari Cooper, Gallup, uh, or Lamb in a situation where I'm always constantly throwing the deep ball. It's whatever the defense presents to me. You can't be like Madden and go for everything that you see. No, you can't be a situation like that. Or go for it and all this other stuff, lining up receivers, lining up receivers when you really don't need to need to line that many receivers up or something like that. Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna. Every situation is not a throwing situation, and that's why I like that. That's why I respect Dak. I don't want Dak to be any more than what he is. I don't want him to change his game for nobody. Because see, you start changing your game, that's when you start messing up. Everybody want Dak to be a Romo, like how Romo was chunking the ball and throwing, making ill-advised decisions, not capitalizing in the red zone. Yeah, nah, I want Dak to be himself, uh, coming in, have a donut in turnovers, have a donut in interceptions, up until like a crucial game situation. That if you look at his resume, well, stats, I should say, uh, in comparison to some of the other greats when it comes to interceptions, Dak doesn't really throw that many interceptions. He doesn't throw that many interceptions. That shows that shows how cerebral he is. So let me get this straight. Amari Cooper, you don't think that he's cerebral? Cause I mean, I thought when you played receiver and you were a wideout and you were the main target, I thought you were supposed to have minimal drops. Okay, when they counted the most of everything. Okay, so you're gonna sit here. All right, you're gonna say, this is what you're gonna say with C.D. Lamb. You're saying, oh well, he had to get adjusted. He was a rookie. Make excuses for him. He had 8 drop passes and everything, all this other stuff, right? Okay, but a guy dropped 2 passes at a crucial situation, but has been consistent the whole time, and relatively makes the plays down the stretch when it matters the most. I'm still gonna take Amari Cooper. I'm still taking Amari Cooper, no matter what. I'm still taking him. If I guarantee you that if Amari Cooper was to go to any other team, hey, Amari Cooper's talent supersedes any offense. If that makes any sense, he could thrive. He could thrive in any type of offense. Is he going down the middle and all that other stuff? No, no. I mean, everybody, listen. There's not a lot of players that really like going down the middle in this era, anyway. It's just not. So we can't always be like you equate physicality. You can't put physicality, finesse, and try to compare the two if they're being productive in any type of way. If he's a finesse player and he can get by you and that's his bread and butter, why sit there and do something else? That's why I made the comparison with Dak. Why sit there and throw the long ball if you need to uh, if you can do great with just short yardage? It's just like what with Tim Tebow. Okay, yeah, I know. Um, Stephen A. Smith always pushed this narrative like Tim Tebow couldn't throw, but that wasn't the case. Tebow could throw. It just wasn't, maybe it wasn't as consistent. It wasn't at the NFL level type throwing that you wanted it to, but it led him to two national championships when he was at Florida. So obviously he did something right. Was he throwing the long ball, all consistently, or had a rocket arm like Joe Montana or Dan Marino or some of these other guys? No. But all I'm saying is do whatever is making you successful. Amari Cooper, Amari Cooper has been successful ever since he has came into the league. And I put it to you like this too. This is even better. C.D. Lamb only had 935 last year, right? He only had 935. Amari Cooper had a thousand yard season right out the gate, straight out of the gate, right out of the gate. He had a 1,000 yard season, straight out of the gate. He had a 1,000 yard season. So that already tells you that tells you where his potential lies. It tells you where his potential lies and what he's gonna do. I've already read the stats before. If you're getting into this video a little bit late, go back because I already read off the stats, and that doesn't we don't even need to say anything about that anymore. We absolutely don't need to say anything about that anymore. Um, you know, hold on 1 second, y'all. Right. And see, this is another thing too. This is another thing too. Okay. This is another thing. The player that had the least drop passes. Listen, the player who had the least drop passes was Larry Fitzgerald. Okay, and Larry Fitzgerald, to my knowledge, is uh, is on pace to probably possibly have the best hands in football. Because the best hands in football was Chris Carter. I could think of another. I like Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry got hands too. But this is my thing right here. Okay, now last year in 2020, and I did make a mistake. Okay, it was Deontay Johnson that had the most drop passes. Okay, and Larry Fitzgerald had the least. So Deontay Johnson, Jerry Judy, uh, Jerry Judy, Tyreek Hill, Alvin Kamara, because I said Alvin Kamara was number one. Uh, Evan Ingram. That was this year, and then last year it was Calvin Ridley. I'm talking about the year in 2019. It was Calvin Ridley that led, but this year it was Deontay Johnson. He led the league. He led the league in drop passes with 16. You don't see Amari Cooper nowhere near on that list. You don't see him nowhere near on that list at all. Nowhere. So how is he inconsistent? And then you got the top receivers. You got the top receivers already sitting up there, right? You got Judy, you got Hill, you got Kamara, and they were in double digits. Kamara had 10, and I like Alvin Kamara. Tyreek Hill, he had 11. Judy with the Broncos had 14, and Deontay Johnson had 16. That should be talked about. Not two in a crucial situation. Not two. Not two passes, man. Let's stop it, man. Polo Sports Talking ENT, man. Make sure you like this video, share it, subscribe if you're not a member to the channel. I appreciate y'all pulling up. Until then, man, I'll holler at y'all later.